I was listening to the story about, it was a story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the Cowboy Man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
Father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses. It would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse trying to break it every day. So they had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hind quarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the dirty. Skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. I am your host, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, the lovely and talented author, producer, co-host extraordinaire,
Wow.
Miss Tiffany.
We might need to expand the door to my office. I was giving you crap about yours, but you keep on putting air into my head.
Gotta fit that noggin in there.
How you doing?
What's up,
my
ma'am?
friend?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Been a day. I know y'all never see me with my hair up. My husband sees me with my hair up 99.99999% of the time. Usually I have it just down for the show because it gets in my face. Drives me crazy. But he's like,
why has it got to be up? Why has it got to be down for the show?
Well, I like my hair to look a certain way, but
you do you, boo. You do you.
Dealing with dog today, and he's been cantankerous today, and I was just like,
cantankerous. What the hell?
Cantankerous.
Big ass word.
Well, it is. I mean, it's in the dictionary. You should read it. Reading makes you smart. So
it's in the dictionary.
It's in the dictionary.
How is old Red?
He's an asshole today. I mean, if we're being real, he is.
Be real.
He's being a little asshole today.
What's he doing that's making him an a-hole?
Well, Carrie went to school, so he's had her to himself for 2 weeks. She went to school today. He just had his mama today. And he's okay as long as I don't sit down. If I sit down, he's like all over me and I'm in his mouth. And you go to distract him and throw his toy. He'll take the toy, fling it up in the air to where it goes behind him, and then he goes after me again. But if I stand up, he doesn't do that. I'm like, look here. I'm not going to completely stand up all day from 7:15 till 4:05.
He better be happy y'all love him.
It's them. I don't know if it's just the growing pains or the transition from her being here all the time to her not being here all the time.
Yeah. It sounds like she is his favorite person.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
A girl needs her dog.
Well, she does. But right now she's she said, Mom, it's so stressful. I was like, because he kicked the crate door off.
She don't know what stress is.
He
Bless her little heart. She has no idea. Let her start paying bills and worrying about family and kids and everything. That's stress.
She's 15, sir. I mean, kids are not coming into the equation until I'm dead.
Exactly. So she don't know what stress is.
Well, currently, her 1.5-year-old, very large puppy kicked his crate door off right before her mama had to come in her office.
Oh.
And she fixed it, and he's asleep now. So we're going to see.
Okay. Well, hopefully he stays asleep because that's a loud ass bark.
Yeah, he's like, "Bow, row, row, row." Freaking China hears him.
What does he do?
He goes, "Bow, row, row, row."
What was that?
Shut up. You know, Zach does that to me. He'll say, "What did he say? What did he look like?" Mm-hmm.
All right, let's pay some bills, ma'am.
All
so we can get to our guest that is waiting very, very patiently backstage. If you are new to the show tonight, thank you so much for joining us. What the fuck took you so long to get here?
Oh my gosh, that was so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. What took you so long to get here? And before you leave, hit that subscribe button, please. We would appreciate that so much. It would help Miss Tiffany and I continue to grow this show. We would appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button if you are new.
And if you want to come on with me and Wayne, I promise he won't swear at you.
Can you promise?
I promise. I won't pinky promise because that's some serious stuff, but I'll promise. But you can reach out to us, Wayne, at paranormalworldproductions.com or me, Tiffany, at paranormalworldproductions.com. We have one Tuesday left in February before we go to booking for March. So reach out to one of us. We would love to have you on and share your encounter.
All right, I want to ask everyone to head over to our website, paranormalworldproductions.com. You can check out all of the other shows under the studio's umbrella. I can tell you there's some pretty cool and interesting stuff coming up here very shortly. But yeah, sign up for the Bigfoot newsletter. Check out that Bigfoot podcast, which I co-host with Mr. Brian King Sharp, Sasquatch Odyssey, all that cool stuff. Pick up some merch. We would love to have you check out paranormalworldproductions.com.
And if you have any questions for tonight's guest, as always, put them in all capital letters. I highlight them during the show, and we save them for the end, a rapid-fire Q&A. But I can't highlight them if they're not in capital letters.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh God, what the fuck happened? The organization that I founded back in 2019 is Manimal Research. We have a brand new website that our great friend, Miss Chris Blaylock, who is also a member of Manimal Research, has set up and got going. It's launched. It is live as we speak. Manimalresearch.org. Please, please, please head over there and check that out. You can see some of the stuff we've been up to. If you've had any believed or suspected activity on your property and need someone to come out and check it out, we would love to be the ones to do that. If you would like to become a member of Manimal Research in your area, I think right now there's 6 or 7 states that we are covering, all here in the Southeast, but we're always looking to expand. So if you would like to become a Manimal Research member, maybe open up a whole new branch in your state, we would love to talk to you about that. Please head over to manimalresearch.org and check that out. All right, again, guys, or lastly, before we get to our guest, a couple of things. Our membership is open as always. It is $1.99 a month. Mr. Alex S. with his beautiful dog there says best fucking $1.99 ever spent. and I agree with you so
Mhm.
much, Alex. It is $1.99 a month. You can become a member. You can get early access to all of our stuff. You can get access to our members only Discord. Like I said, early access to events that we have coming up. You can get access to our members only content. We do a couple lives, members only lives a month. You would get access to that as well. Again, it is only $1.99. So beside the subscribe button, there should be a join button. If you're interested, please click that. And lastly, before we get to our guest, if you notice at the bottom, Cash App and Venmo, if you would like to help us out in that way, which many of you or a few of you do, we would certainly appreciate that. You always have the option of like super stickers, and I mean, that's great if you would rather do it that way. We just give you this option because that comes to us directly, and we don't have to wait a month, and we don't have to pay the fees that YouTube likes to take. They like taking their fees. It's like 30 to 40%,
Mhm.
and we're not rich like they are. So, if you want to help us out, please consider sending some to the Cash App or the Venmo. What
Yes.
did Chris say?
For
For
$1.99,
$1.99,
you can become family and hang out with us freaks. LOL.
us PO freaks.
That's right.
I love the little family that we have created.
Me
It's
too.
so awesome. I've been talking to people all day, setting up or talking about the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference. Chris, that you just saw, has booked a cabin for a bunch of us. We're going to get together and hang out and go to the conference, and it's going to be such an amazing time. I've talked to people today with stuff that's coming up in the future with Bigfoot, and I can't wait. Announcements are to come very shortly, so y'all be waiting on that. But yeah, it's going to be a cool year. We can't wait.
Yep.
All
Agreed.
right, I've been talking for way too long. Tiffany, tell us about our guest.
You guys know her, and you guys loved her the last time she was on. She wasn't on alone last time. She is on alone this evening. But she reached out to me and she said, I've been experiencing some spooky things in my house, and one of my previous employers, there was spooky stuff going on. And she asked me about my tiny hands. So I brought out my tiny hands just for her. And Wayne's like, you're dumb.
Those damn tiny hands.
Brian hates them. I think they're so cute. So I said, I will be sure to put on the tiny hands for you. But yes, she also did a lot of the cooking for the outing that you guys went on last year. And Wayne
Yes, she
still
did.
dreams of them tacos. And
Oh my
I
God, those
heard-
tacos, guys! Shit, I still dream about those damn tacos. Yeah, Martha and Cindy were the cook ladies, and I think we got Cindy coming up pretty soon, right?
Mhm. Yes, the 20th.
Oh my God, they do such an amazing. You guys don't have any idea about what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference that I will be at again this year. I've been talking to my awesome friend Marianne, and we finalized everything. Brian will be there. We're trying to get Tiffany to come as well. Zach has an or not Zach. Well, Zach as well, but Troy has an open invitation as well to come. But yeah, it's in Springfield, Missouri. It's a conference and then a camp out. These ladies, Martha and Cindy included, do an amazing job cooking for everybody. It was some of the best food that I've had in just such a long time. Those tacos. I'm sorry to take over for you, Tiffany, but when you mentioned those tacos, I had a flashback, and they were so freaking good. But go ahead and finish up, Tiffany.
You're good. So yeah, she is backstage with us, but real quick before we bring her out, just to kind of bring home what a lot of us experience, Cinch Home Services recently conducted a survey of over 800 people about paranormal activity that they have experienced in their homes. And so it said that the study showed 83% of those people had experienced paranormal activity in their own homes. 1 in 10 people have moved out because of paranormal experiences. The biggest number of homes that they had found when doing this survey was that the homes that were built between 2000 and 2019 were the ones most reported as haunted, and like the 80s and 90s only accounted for like 31% of that.
Really?
So it's a very big percentage of people. 83% out of 800 people. I mean, you people need to email me.
Say those numbers again.
Yeah, sure. So 83% of people have experienced paranormal activity in their home at least one time. 76% said it happened in their current home. 1 in 10 people moved out of their home after experiencing that. Homes built between 2000 and 2019 account for 43% of the haunted houses.
Really?
And yep, 80s and 90s houses only accounted for 31%. But listen to this. 41% of those people are willing to live in a haunted house, and only 55% are willing to live next to one. And they said that over half of these people are willing to buy a haunted house, and 59% of these people expect to pay less for it. Right? Like,
so they're using it as a bargaining chip.
Yeah. But I also found in my research that New York is the only state that you have to report if your house is haunted or not. Just New York.
New York?
New York. If you sell your house in New York and it's haunted, you are, by law, you have to tell the realtor.
That's so crazy. Y'all know, I spoke at a conference in Ohio last year, Greenville, Ohio, and my son went up there with me. And the area that this conference was in, my son was the one that pointed out to me. He said, it looks like every one of these houses should be haunted. Every scary movie you've ever seen looks like these houses.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy. But yeah, so that just, solidifies everything that Martha went through and is still going through. Before she comes out here, I wanted to run those numbers to you. But yeah, I'm ready to bring her out.
All right. Very, very cool. We will get to Martha. She is waiting very patiently backstage. She has some spooky stuff to talk about. Let's bring her out. Hey, Martha, how you doing, man?
My house was built in 2006.
See?
Mm-hmm.
See?
And it also, where I worked, was a new building about 2005. And I'm not an expert, but I have a theory there's wandering spirits. And they find a place they like to stay. And because this was farmland where my house is, and nobody's well, my mother did pass here, but we had all of this before she passed, and I just always thought that it was like a wandering person or entity that has come in. And the same thing where I used to work, those were relatively new buildings, but where they built those buildings was a violent area. It was when they did the cattle drives in Joplin, and a lot of cowboys, a lot of drunks, a lot of gunfights. And I think my experiences at the store that I used to be a manager, I think probably we had a wanderer come in and say, I kind of like this because, I'm talking about a period of over 10 years at the store. And, I tried to make sure that, don't tell the newbies we're haunted. Don't tell them that. And, then you just wait. And then you might have somebody come up, a little teenager like, there's some strange things that goes on here. And then you go, well, yeah. Didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, we have strange things in this store.
Well, that's funny because we were given the same, we had the same shush order when I worked at Belk because it was haunted. I would stand there and pack orders and nobody's in the stockroom but me. But there's two males off to my right. You can't see them, but they're having a conversation. Or the bathroom that was directly across from it was only blocked by half a wall. The toilet would flush, or you could hear the sink turn on. You don't talk about it though, because then they'll leave. So I get that.
Well, yeah, and the assistant manager we had at the time, and I kind of think that she might have been the emotions that brought this entity into this store. Her son committed suicide at 12 with her gun.
Oh.
And so she was, get down, cat, my black cat, by the way. She was, we couldn't call them RF guns. They were shaped like guns back then. We always had to use the word scanner. We couldn't use the word gun around her. And I think probably she is what attracted this entity. And then even after she left, I think he decided, this is a pretty cool place. People coming and going. The first time that I remember something going on, I was doing the cash office. So I'm in my little cubicle and we hear this big crash. And, she's instantly slamming doors and locking them. And she says, I'm going out to check. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, call the police. And because she thought somebody was in the building. And there wasn't anybody in the building, and something fell off the shelf that logically would not have fallen off the shelf. It wasn't like something coming off a peg. It was something that slid off the shelf. And it was very common just to be walking down and you just see a bunch of, because it was an arts and crafts store, to see a bunch of stickers just go flip, 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 flip. Mm-hmm. And you sit there, can you do this another time? Another shift? Not my shift? I have to pick it up.
Yes.
And, you just got used to it. And we had a very sensitive person come in after I'd been there for a couple of years. And she says, this place is haunted, isn't it? And I'm going, yeah, Ren, you're right, it's haunted. And she says, he wears a blue plaid shirt and blue dungarees. And I go, okay, I don't usually see. I tend to sense more with smell and hearing. Mm-hmm. But she actually saw. And and there was one time that I actually kind of caught a glimpse. I was in our back room. We had a second floor mezzanine that had the lights that would come on when you motion activated lights. Mm-hmm. I'm, getting some pegs or something, and the lights come on, and I'm like, and I see some like blue shirt, and I'm sitting there thinking, if a customer is up there, I'm going to give him some what too, You're not supposed to be back here. So I go up, and there's nobody there. But the light came on. I saw that flash of blue, and there's no other way you can escape other than going through the hatch onto the roof. But I guess the most telling thing for me was Ren came back a couple years afterwards, because when you're in retail, you get a lot of college students. You're there for a couple of years, and then they go off and do their real jobs.
Right.
So she came back, and so she asked me, she says, has he been very active lately? And I said, no, actually, he's been really quiet. I haven't had a lot of activity or nothing reported to me. So then I went to lunch, and I'm in the lunchroom all by myself, and we have the lockers with the little locks on them. And I'm, going through Facebook, and I hear this whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I look behind me, and one of the locks is moving back and forth on the locker. And I'm just kind of watching, going, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. And about that time, somebody comes into the room, and they, just immediately stop, and they go, is that? Yeah, it's moving itself. Yeah. I said, I guess I irritated him.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get them to, because when you work there every day, you see it, you get desensitized to that.
Yeah, you do.
We had one of those, the packing bubbles, they're like huge, but they would spit out of the machine. You have to push a button down to make those things come out, and it would just spit them out. So, it was nothing for me to say, look, you are making a mess that I'm going to get blamed for, that I'm going to have to clean up. Can you please just stop? But when my new supervisor came in, she just wants to be on camera.
Well, this is the other one.
But when my new supervisor came in, it did it to him. And he was like, I think the machine's broken. And I'm like, it's not.
No.
So I totally, yeah.
And it's amazing that more people don't realize that a lot of these places we go into on a fairly regular basis are actually haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been to flea markets where, you go into the flea market, and I don't know whether they're attached to something, but, you go by a certain booth and you go, I'm not going in there. I'm not, I'm going right by. Mm-hmm. And I've always been that way as a child. I'm kind of sensitive to things, talking maybe to people that weren't there. It comes down through the family line, Wayne. My cousin, Mary Ann, it's our great-great-grandmother, was a psychic. And then my grandmother, her great-grandmother, made puppets.
Oh.
Yeah, so, it's the ability to connect, I think, is hereditary in our family.
Right.
And, I'm sure some of my sibs or nieces and nephews, they won't admit it. Mm-hmm. Because, they'll think I'm crazy.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And you're tapped into both fields here, the paranormal with the things that you experience at your house and your previous job, but you also are into Bigfoot. So yeah, we all get scrutinized the same way, no matter what field it is that we are interested in. You're just a bunch of Fruit Loops.
Yeah, you're just making it up, or you're causing this stuff to happen with your own energy. Now, I've gotten that. You are the poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I'm a poltergeist.
Yeah.
And, I just don't think so. I think they have to save up a lot of energy in order to manipulate.
Right.
But the things that have happened to me, especially here at the house.
Well, talk about that some. What are some things that have happened to you at home?
Well, when I first moved into the house with my mom, I was plagued by really severely bad, horrible dreams. Mm-hmm. The dreams where you are paralyzed, you've got the black entity standing next to the bed.
Yes.
Which, now after years of research, I know it's common. It's a common phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And I would just be screaming, and my mom, her room was on the other side of the house. She'd come toddling in, and, are you okay? I heard you screaming. And I sit there, no, because in my mind at that time, won't go into a lot of details, but I was abused as a child. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, well, I'm projecting. Mm-hmm. But then it just kept happening. And I finally, one dream or episode, I actually visualized the entity forming a mist and coming into my mouth, into my body. And it's just like, I'm like, holy guacamole.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
out.
Went into work, and I'm talking to, a couple of my buddies at work, we're all of this, same mindset on things. And, one of the guys said, you need to put a stop to this. This is getting to the point. This could be harmful.
Mhm.
And he says, you're a strong enough willed person that you can stop it.
Mhm.
And so what I finally did is the next time I had the experience, I'm in my bed and I'm just kind of gathering all of my energy, and I'm saying, go away.
Right.
You're not welcome. Go away. And I never had that phenomenon. I think, and Cindy may talk about that when she comes on, because
Mhm.
we share the house.
Yeah. Oh.
So she can seg into her viewpoint of that. But
Mhm.
we also have something very active in our basement.
Always the damn basement.
I know. And I mean, as a kid, I used to hate going into basements, just really freaked me out. Some basements.
Mhm.
But I would just have, really strange stuff happens if I go downstairs and I'm kind of like, because I do a lot of my making and my crafting and sewing in the basement.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there one day at my sewing machine, and my sewing table where I was doing my cutting and pinning is off to the side at a 90-degree angle, and I have my tape measure there.
Mhm.
Cloth tape measure that seamstresses use. And I catch movement, and I look over there, and that damn tape measure is snaking across the table.
No way.
Way. And I'm just watching it go across the table, and I said, okay, I get the message. I'm done.
I mean, how do you explain something like that?
Pardon?
How do you explain something like that?
You can't, because there's no wind down there. It's on a concrete floor. There's no earthquake vibration. And I mean, yeah, it kind of freaked me out. And I said, okay, I'm done. I'm going upstairs. And I had took me about a week or two to go back downstairs, but that's part of my business.
Right.
I have to be down there. So I started going down and talking. And I don't think it's the same one that was in my bedroom. I think this is an entirely different entity, because it's more playful. I don't see any harm in it. And so I said, I really have to do this. I need to get this task done. You want me to keep the damn house? I have to make money. Otherwise, who knows who may end up with this house? And as long as I go down there and I tell it, they generally leave me alone, but it'll do things like I'll be sewing and all of a sudden my sewing machine will jam. Well, it happens all the time when you sew. And you sit there and you're trying to mess with it, and it jams again, and frustrated, you go upstairs. I got to leave it. And then you go back down the next day and it's not jammed anymore. There's no jam there. And my niece came over, and she wanted to borrow my sewing machine to make a Halloween costume. And I told her, I said, well, yeah, things happen down there. I said, just be polite, just ignore it. And she's looking at me like I'm crazy. And then about 45 minutes later, she comes up, she's finished with her project, and she says, the sewing machine kept getting unplugged.
No way.
I said, yeah, they do that. And, so I just downstairs in the basement, I have let's consider it a working relationship.
That's a good way to put it.
I explain to them what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I'll talk to them when I'm down there. Especially if I'm doing something that may be considered slightly witchy, like making candles a certain way. And, I'll tell them I'm doing this for this reason, to sell at this occasion. And, anything you can do to put an extra oomph in there to make it better, go ahead and do it. Yeah. Make more money.
Otherwise, quit scaring me to death.
But, it's, like I said, it's strange, because I really think it's a good thing that you've got Cindy and I separate,
Mm-hmm.
because she can tell her perspective. Okay,
Well,
Outlaw, there you are. Okay, there you are.
It's just these animals are on something good tonight, I think.
Oh, I know. He's giving me my bath. I don't have to bathe now.
Oh, well, there you go.
We have 4 dogs, Tiffany.
Oh. Oh, we have 2, and that's enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes you just get them. But, it's really strange because sometimes the animals will react.
Well, I was going to ask you, when you brought up the 4 dogs, how do they react when things like that happen?
They get agitated. I don't usually let the dogs down in the basement because that's where the cat boxes are. And they like to help themselves to the little tasty treats in the cat box. So usually it's just me and the cats down there. And the cats will be just like chill, and all of a sudden they'll be like, and they see something and they're staring at it. And I don't see it, but I will smell things. And I associate them with people that have gone before. When I smell cigarette smoke, I know it's my dad. I know it's my dad there. I can feel him. I can smell him. My grandmother's perfume, my mom's perfume. And I've always had these weird scents, weird smells that come through. And I think that's how my mind is better to interact that way with them, because that's part of my business, is mixing potpourris and soaps and lotions and dealing with scent. So my mind is kind of already, keyed into that. And then sometimes, you get the stroke on the face. And my mom she would sit there and she said, "You left that damn radio on downstairs again." No, Mom, the radio is not downstairs. Well, somebody's down there having a party. No, Mom, and finally she goes, "Is this house haunted?"
Yes, ma'am.
She's in her late 80s, mid 80s, and she's going, "Is this damn house haunted?" And I go, "Well, it looks to be." And she goes, "Well, as long as they don't wake me up in the middle of the night, I'm okay with it."
Yes, Mom. Preach. I feel that one.
Yeah, and that's why she'd be saying, "They're making too much noise down there again." But you would be upstairs, even in my bedroom, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it's real faint, but you hear music, you hear talking.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just roll over and go back to sleep. It's just like, okay, you guys do your thing. I'm doing my thing. Sleep.
Just leave me alone and let me do it. And I had to react when you had made mention of the touch, because when all the snow started and me and Carrie were here, we were here. Like, I could have left, but I was just apprehensive. When it's ice, Tiffany is in no mode. Yeah. But we have been watching, like, she has her favorite paranormal group that she likes to watch, and I have mine, and they're different. So we would sit down during the day with the dogs and we would watch those shows. But while we were doing that, it was almost like something was like just rubbing their fingers on the tops of our head.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes in the back of my head, it's like something's just rubbing or running their fingers through my hair back here. And I'm like, we're going to turn this off. Like right now, we're going to turn it off right now. And Cooper has started, he didn't do it today, thank God. But when it was she and I, and we were watching TV and we're all together in one room, he'll like lean over on his left shoulder and he'll look into the dining room, which is where we have had previous activity in the past, and he'll just growl. So I'm like, okay, Hunter's 11, our lab. He could care less. He doesn't care. But Cooper's on it, and he'll growl. And I'm like, Carrie's like doing this every once in a while, and I'm like, bro, we really need to not watch this.
Well, I like to think of the touching and, like feeling almost like a little pat on the shoulder. Those are the people that we're close to coming back to us. They don't stay long. They're not here all the time.
It's every once in a while. We'll just feel it like something right here on our foreheads, right here in our hairline. And then she's never mentioned it in the back of her head. I only feel like fingers in my hair at the back of my head. But it's just one of those things you're like, just don't touch me.
Well, if I feel like it's like my mom or my grandparents or my dad, that would be okay. Now, if I don't have that association, if something else is going to be touching me, I'm throwing a cat at them. A cat. Choo, claws, and I'm running.
Right.
But I haven't had the dark feelings ever since I got the gumption to say, "Hey, this is not permitted. This can't be."
Right. Your energy has to be stronger than that energy that's coming in to say, "Okay, you're not welcome here. This is my space. Stop."
And the ones in the basement, sure, come down and borrow my sewing machine. I think it's funny.
Here, you can help me with my production.
Yeah.
Assistant. Yes. Absolutely. That is crazy.
But, again, I think it's entities that have just been wandering through, and they stopped and they said, we like the energy here. And, for all I know, it might be like a creative sort of entity down there that is actually attracted to my, because when I'm creating, I'm in a zone. Cindy will tell you, I'm just like, I'm in a zone, and my mind is on like a different level. And I think they're attracted to that.
Right. Yeah. It's all about how they're perceiving your energy at the time. I totally could see that with entities. Totally could. That's just nuts. It's just nuts, though. I don't know.
I don't say 100%, yes, I've seen a ghost or I've been around it. I just like with Bigfoot. I don't say 100%, but I'm willing to go 98.
Right. Well, and that's like when Zach had his encounter with whatever that was back there. He will never 100% say that it was a Bigfoot. However, he's ruled everything out. I've ruled everything out. I mean, there's nothing else that it could have been. But but he will never 100% say that was a Bigfoot, because it was like that and it was gone.
And I think that's what most logical people will do. It's I always question those ones that everything they see is Bigfoot. Everything they see is a ghost. Everything they experience is a ghost. No, you have to rule other things out. So those are the people that I respect.
Right. It is that process of elimination that is so vital. And that's what I always say when we have anybody from any field, whether it's paranormal, Bigfoot, Dogman, I mean, you name it, we cover it all. And
just don't get me on UFOs. UFOs bad. Scare me. No UFOs.
Well, that's a different show for a different time, it sounds like.
No,
But
no.
I'm teasing. But when they come on and they say, well, we went through this process and this is what this is saying and this is what this is not saying and this is the only thing it could be, I think there has to be some debunking in any line. Nobody,
Well, it's like that tape measure. The energy to move that.
Yeah.
There was no wind, and it would take quite a bit of wind to blow one of those. I mean, it's they're weighted in a certain manner, and then to move like a damn snake, it was just like, ugh.
Yeah. So something had to have been pulling it.
Because you can't push, or you can push it, but it's going to bunch up. But it was just very much like it was just doing this.
Yeah.
Across the table, and I'm sure my eyes were as big as saucers and my mouth was down at my ankles, and it was just like, oh shit. And it's just like, okay, message received. I'm going upstairs. You can have your privacy if that's what you want, for whatever you're doing down here. Please be quiet.
That is funny.
All right, we're going to move to some questions real quick. We got a few of those. Tiffany, do you mind handling those? I got to step away for just a second.
I don't mind at all. Okay. So, T. Roy in Tennessee. Miss Martha, what are you drinking tonight?
It is an alcohol infusion. I call them my potions, with fruits and herbs infused in alcohol.
There you go. Mr. T. Roy again. Do you believe you have multiple ghosts?
Yes.
Okay.
I know there's the one in the basement, and when Cindy comes on, she'll talk about the other one, because I think he went from me to her.
Well, look, at least you're roomies and you share.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Miss Chris Blaylock, how many of your family members do you believe have the gift?
Well, I know Marianne does, and most of I have brothers, so they're very logical, but some of the cousins, you kind of wonder, but I think with Marianne and I, it came down just really strong in our line.
Right. So you're more sensitive to the smell and the sounds, and what is she sensitive to?
She sees.
Oh.
You need to get her on here. She's got some funny stories too.
I know. Well,
scary stories, because you think about Marianne as being the Bigfoot. She is, but like me, she's had the paranormal too.
That's very interesting to know. Mr. Robert Matler, was there much Civil War activity around the property?
Probably. What? Yeah, in Carthage, there were some battles around the area, and looking at the topography and the way the land's laid out, I think we're probably like, I wouldn't call it, well, it may even be a ley line, but like Indians moving through, nomads, even again, some of the Western travel through here. There's a lot of that, not very far away.
Well, let me hop down to this question here from Joe Pat. It says, where do you think they're from? Just keying in on that, when you brought up Native Americans and the ley lines, and you think there's any Native American entities there?
It could be the ones in the basement. Could be the other one. That one I would say is more evil. more demonic. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I say, the ones downstairs could be children. I've almost gotten an idea of children. Haha, let's unplug this. They cuss when you unplug this.
Hey, look what I can do with your tape measure. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Wow, look at her now. This is, to me, it's very playful. So it could be children.
Interesting. Joe Pat, again, do lights dim when things happen?
We do have a lot of light dimming. However, we're out in the country.
True.
So, but we do have some power issues in the house.
Got you. And the last one from Miss Chris Blaylock, does your cat recognize any activity?
Oh yeah, they will. They'll go on alert. They are comfortable with whatever's in the basement because the basement is their turf. They can go down and not be bothered by dogs. And that's where they hang out, when they're not up here with me. But yeah, I mean, they'll be down there on my sewing table and all of a sudden they'll go on alert and and there's no bugs down there flying around.
Right.
I mean, there's some spiders, but nothing big, but something alerts them.
And when they go on alert, you go on alert. And you're like, all right, what are we looking at?
Yes, they're my familiars.
Yes, your familiars.
All right. In the next few minutes, Martha, do you have anything that you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote or push or anything like that?
Well, I will always push the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference. Always.
I'm glad you said that.
There will be information coming out shortly about the speakers. We're very excited about the speakers that are being lined up. We're going to be in the same.
Yours truly.
Yes. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be the camp out, which will be cooking. And yes, after you left, Wayne, I did have some activity. I was paralleled by Shane Carpenter. Is that his name? Last name?
Yeah,
Shane.
yeah.
He thought I was a juvenile.
Really? Because I left the last day, so it had to have happened.
This was after you left. This was the last day. I took a little hike down the creek. I'll have to show you that one requires the full body motion when I'm going down the creek bed.
So the camp out's going to be at the same spot, right?
Same spot, yes, because we've had repeated activity there. Williams had repeated activity, and
well, I mean, I can tell you that Brian and I and several other people heard some stuff.
Oh yeah,
we couldn't really explain it. I cannot stress enough, guys. If you are in the area or if you want to travel, please make plans to go to the Ozark Mountain Conference and camp out. It's early October. I've been talking to Marianne today, who is the presenter of it. I will be speaking. Brian will be speaking.
Be there.
I don't want to jump. I don't want to step on any toes and announce other people. But yeah, it will come out. But there are some really, really cool people that will be speaking at this event. Not only speaking, but camping. So
and then we also have the presentations at the campsite. I did one on Dutch oven cooking.
Yeah.
And so I'll probably come up with something crazy. Maybe I'll bake cookies in a cardboard box.
And can you really do that?
Have tacos.
Can you really make cookies in a cardboard box, or you just shouldn't?
I can do it. I was a scout later. I can do it.
Oh my gosh, I want to know how to make cookies in a cardboard box.
They do have kind of a smoky flavor, but okay, that will be my presentation. I will tell my cousin I'm going to do that.
Anything that's infused.
Tiffany, if you can make it, I hope that you and Zach can make it to the Ozark Mountain Conference. It's so much fun. I was telling Marianne today, and I've told so many people That was some of the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. I made such good friends, Mr. Robert
It,
Matler. I
we're,
mean,
we're, we're a family. I mean, we're like people, we're all coming from about the same mindset. And you're comfortable. We don't talk about politics, religion, or anything like that. We're only there to share Bigfoot.
exactly.
And it's a safe place.
Right. Well, and see, and that's what we are here. Like, we
Mhm.
have all of our family members in the chat, and our guests. We're usually very familiar with our guests, or I am. I like research. I'm the creeper, I guess. But it's my job to vet them. So
Well, yeah, you don't want lunatics. It lowers your standards, to have a lunatic.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, just it's nice to be able to come on and talk about experiences. Yes, Robert, where's my beer?
Robert's so awesome. I love you, buddy.
He is. But yeah, it's sharing, it's researching, and then you can do you can go out at night if you want to do that, or you can stay back at camp and listen. Or if you're like the cooks, you can kind of collapse in bed because you're going to have to get up and make some biscuits and gravy the next morning.
Yes, ma'am. All of that. Ma'am,
Yep.
yes, ma'am. All of the biscuits and gravy, please.
And Wayne, I have perfected biscuits on the flat top.
That was my one request for breakfast: biscuits and gravy.
Well, I have perfected the biscuits now.
Yeah, you're awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, we are here at the hour. As we said, Tiffany and I both have a hard out at 9 o'clock, and we're just a couple minutes away from there. So, Tiffany, or I'm sorry, Martha, thank you so very much, ma'am.
Thank you for
taking
having
the
me
time.
here, because I can tell my stories and feel comfortable about it.
Yeah,
Yes, you
and
can.
that's what we want everybody to do. Reach out to us. We are not going to judge you. We want you to feel comfortable sharing these with people who we're like-minded. We get it.
Yeah.
We don't think you're a Fruit Loop.
Maybe we're all Fruit Loops, but we're all together. We're a family. You hear that,
Absolutely.
Robert?
Maybe we're all in the
That's
same
right.
box.
Again, Martha, thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time to come out and hang out with us. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your evening.
I will.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Y'all take
Bye-bye.
care.
You too.
All right.
That just went like that, man.
I cannot wait. I've talked to Marianne so much today. We probably did a 30-minute phone call earlier today, lining stuff up and talking, and I know exactly who's going to be speaking at the conference this year. It's going to be big guys. It's a step up. Marianne did really, really good this year. It's going to be amazing. Anyone in that area, or if you are able to travel to Springfield, Missouri, please try to do it for the Ozark Mountain Conference. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'll be there. Brian will be there, and others that I can't mention just yet will be there. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes. So do try to make it out. I know we're gonna get everything together because we would love to go. Carrie would love it. She is a nature fanatic.
Tiffany, I hope that you and Zach can come.
Yeah.
I know it's a long drive, but it's so much fun. It's not just a one and done thing. I mean, you're going to be there for a few days. It's like a vacation.
Yeah.
And it is so fun. You will not regret it.
Oh, I'm sure I won't. I'm sure that we will not. But yeah, we will absolutely work on that.
All right. We are right here at the hour. Everybody, our guests tonight, Martha, thank you so much. Our audience members, you guys were respectful as always. We thank you. We love you very, very much. And until we talk to y'all again, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.
Bye.